Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching this video. We hope we can bring you some value. We are going through some difficult times, some changes in the way we do business, and wanted to chat with attorney Ben Dominguez so he can give us a little bit of his insights as to what he does and how he conducts business, and hoping that you guys out there stay safe and that you heed the recommendations that the medical staff or the medical professionals are recommending for us to do so by keeping your social distance. Anyway, thank you, attorney Ben Dominguez, for taking the time to meet with us and just kind of chat with us real quick.
Hey, Sal, how are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, great. So, how are things to start
Good
off?
to see you. Things actually, I know that people are having a hard time out there in one way or another, or it's a change, or they've lost their job. So I hope for the best for everyone who are having a hard time because of the virus. From the legal perspective, the courts say we must go on with our cases, and those are marching orders from the court. And so that's what we're doing. We're going forward with our cases, day by day, week by week, getting ready for trial every day.
Good. So that being said, you are taking in new cases. You are taking in new clients.
With some of the limitations, as you can see, I have my gloves on. I just ran to the office real quick to do the interview, and I'm in one of the side offices, but someone may come in and we're checking out our mail, so we're just being extra careful. And of course, my mask is on my desk, but yeah, we're really working as hard or harder than we were before all this happened.
Correct. And I believe it could be like what you just said, a little bit harder, because now we have to adjust, have to do different things. Back then it was just like business as usual. You get your clients, they would show up, you would interview them, you would talk to them in the conference room. Right. Now it's like you got to make sure that they have, if you're doing a video like we're doing now, video chat, you got to make sure that they're connected.
Right.
Everything.
Well, the thing is, some clients, they'll come in to see their attorney, and it's always an important occasion for anyone who comes to see an attorney. And sometimes it can be a little formal when you're doing remote interview sessions that we're doing, like on some of the platforms like Zoom. I think that allows the client to be more relaxed. He's at home, and so I think for some reason, going forward after all this is resolved, we're probably going to continue to do more Zoom than we have ever before.
You're absolutely right. It seems like it's more convenient for everybody, and you don't have to jump.
Yeah, it's more efficient, it's more convenient. I mean, if you wanted to, you could record the conversation for the client's file, so you can go back to what he said if you need to figure out, okay, where were we on this point? The unique thing that's going on with attorneys now, attorneys who actually take cases to court, like our firm does, is we do a lot of depositions.
Okay.
Depositions where you sit down with the other attorney and their client and you take their testimony, and you have a court reporter and they're typing everything down. Okay, that's what we do mostly to prepare for cases. And a lot of times we order a cameraman to videographer everything, videotape everything. So it catches the essence of the sincerity of the person who's testifying. But right now, what we're doing is we can't do that because we have an order. We can't be in the same room. We have to be, so many feet apart. And so now we're doing it on video, Zoom video. And I like it more. It's more effective.
Correct.
It's more effective. So,
and you have the footage, right? Which is what
we got the videotape, right? We do. And
That's
normally
awesome.
We go in with to the deposition with so many documents this high, and we're passing out copies, but now we just press a button and boom, it goes from my computer. Everyone has it. So it's easier, much easier, actually.
And you get to save the trees too, huh?
And we get to save the trees. Yes,
that's awesome.
Good point.
So question for you. I know that you just answered that you are taking in new clients. Things are basically business as usual, yet with a little, I don't know if you want to call it complications, but just a different way of doing business. But let's say if I was, or if somebody gets into an accident, what should they do? Are the courts open? Should they proceed with the case? Should they find an attorney, or should they wait till after all this is blows over and to start moving forward with the case?
Well, look, I think one complication that we're trying to figure out is a lot of the hospitals here in the medical center, where offices near the medical center, a lot of people believe that the medical center is kind of just reserved for the very serious life or death coronavirus cases, and it should be,
Correct.
right? So as an attorney, we have, we know there are other private facilities like emergency room or urgent care centers that are open to seeing people who have been in car accidents or have an emergency that's medical related, that's not coronavirus. So we know which urgent cares are out there that around the city that hopefully would be open and available to clients who are hurt. They need to be medically treated immediately. Who wants to be in an accident and they can't move and they can't go to an emergency room? No one wants to, right?
Correct.
So the attorney's job, a good attorney's job, will find the right place and right remedy for his client or a new client.
Right. And that's
And
where
that's what we do.
exactly, and that's where the benefits of hiring an attorney when you get into an accident, because they're the professionals and they know exactly where to send the patient or the client, what to do, what are the next steps. Whereas if you try to take on the case on your own, which you can, but there's going to be a possibility that you won't be able to get the right care, the right doctors, or the right compensation. So that's the good benefit of hiring an attorney, right?
Among others. Primarily is you don't want to be trying to resolve your case on your own, because only an attorney knows. Not anyone can figure this out. Obviously, you can go to court and watch a trial and see what happens. Anyone can do that, but the attorney is the one who has expertise to and experience to know exactly what approach to take with the insurance company and what approach the insurance company is going to take with the person who's hurt. So the attorney's there to protect them and do everything in his best interest and get the best recovery possible for that person.
Got it. Yeah, and during that difficult time, sometimes we don't think straight because we're going through some pain, we're going through some problems, and the last thing we think about is the details, the minor things, right? That's where you guys come in.
You never know. You may need a surgery down the road that you're not aware of. You may lose your job because of this, and all that adds up. I mean, just based on surgery and losing a job, people could be facing $100,000 debt without a job.
Correct.
So you always have to be extra prudent and extra cautious about what action you take after an accident, because sometimes you really don't realize how much you're hurt until later on down the road after you've had treatment. And then they say, okay, we've done what we could with you. We've given you therapy. We need to take an MRI. And sometimes they do. And you have a herniated disc.
Yikes.
So that's what happens. And no one's going to take an MRI right away, because the protocol is wait 6 weeks to 8 weeks, see if we can resolve it with therapy. And then if not, do an MRI. That's the way it works.
Gotcha. But you got to take the right procedures in order to make things
get to that point. Yeah, because it's kind of ridiculous to get hurt and run out and get an MRI the same day. That's
right.
$1,500 or $2,000 test. Who wants to go out and do that when they can just get the proper protocol, proper therapy first?
Gotcha. So, and if you have an active case at this point, being that we're in the situation with the pandemic and all that stuff, what should people do if they have an active case at this point? Is it going to prolong the process, or how does that work?
Well, as it stands now, no, it cannot prolong the process. It will not, unless a year down the road and the insurance companies aren't negotiating in good faith And sometimes that happens. They just take the position, well, it's a money issue, so file a lawsuit. So we do. Once you file a lawsuit, that's another year to 2 years down the road, depending on the case.
Gotcha.
People don't realize that you can file a very complex case, someone who needed surgery or had a broken back or has a traumatic brain injury. In that case, can take 3 to 5 years to get to trial. So it takes time. The attorneys, most attorneys who go to court are always working on their cases, moving it along step by step by step.
Right. So
there are 1,000 steps to each case, and it takes time to take 1,000 steps. Even if you take one step every day, there's 360 days, 65 days a year. So that's going to take you 3 years to take 1,000 steps.
Gotcha.
But that's what we do for a living. And if you do it, you got to enjoy it. We enjoy it.
Exactly. So right now you're basically taking care of cases from 3, 4, 5 years back.
Some cases that are big, serious injury cases were filed in 2017.
Wow.
Right.
That's amazing. See, those are things that people don't know unless they're in that situation. And a lot of times, when you get into an accident, the last thing that insurance companies want to do is prolong the process. They rather just settle right away, get you a little money, and then put you aside.
Well, and so the people just feel, and I've never seen anything to verify this, but I think from a business model, Sal, insurance companies are in business of making money, right? So if they don't have to pay a claim today and they can delay it for 3 years, guess what? $100,000 they pay in 3 years. They now had 3 years to get interest on that.
Gotcha.
So it makes sense. Pay it or wait 3 years and pay it later.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, that's interesting. How they, and of course, it's all about money for them, right?
Right. Well, it's business model. Make your profit.
Absolutely. So you as a business owner, what are you currently doing to stay? Of course, I know you mentioned a little something that you're staying in business. You're still working the cases, but what about the office? How are things in the office?
Well, when I do the video depositions on Zoom, I come into the office personally. There's another attorney who's been coming in to get his work done, but the staff has been staying at home. And every morning at 9:30 on the dot, we have our meetings.
Nice.
Okay, today, A, B, and C is what we're going to accomplish on these specific cases. Later on in the afternoon, we have a follow-up, and then we know what we did. We know what to plan for the next day. The next day, 9:30 sharp. Hey, how are you doing? Everyone's having their coffee. It's kind of, it's good social distancing, and actually everyone keeps engaged that way. So everyone's taking charge of what they need to get done, and we're all getting it done together.
That's good. That's a good thing that, it takes, you have to kind of lead the way, but once you lead the way, then they will definitely follow and take care of what they need to take care of. Right.
Right.
Good. So, but anyway, do you have any advice or anything you would like to give to your local businesses or people that are going to be watching this that are in a situation where they need to hire an attorney? Anything you'd like to, any advice or just health advice for what's going on?
Yeah, well, thank you. This is a horrible situation, but we're going to get through it, Houston. We always do. I'm 4th generation Texan. I know we're Texas tough. So give it another month and we'll be out there at our favorite restaurant.
That's right. And we're human beings are amazing. We're always come out through to the other side, whenever there's a situation like this. There's been other situations, there's been wars, there've been, hurricanes, natural disasters, things of that nature, and human beings will come out on the other side and do better. So the main thing that we need to do now is stay healthy and take care of our distances and make sure that we're healthy. So whenever business is back as usual, we're ready to rock, like they say,
Right. All the elected officials and business leaders, they're all doing a good job. And the entire population in Houston, Texas, at least, They're all following the social distancing protocol, and I think that's why we're in a better shape than other places. So
Awesome.
you got to be proud about Houston for doing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Attorney Ben Dominguez, for your time. And I appreciate you giving us some of your knowledge. And hopefully this brings value to the people that are watching, or they're going to be watching this video. Thank you for your time.
Okay, one thing.
Yes.
Did you paint that painting behind you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Now that I have a lot of time in my hands, I did it.
You're an artist too. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, Sal.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Perfect.